like it, but I want more of this. I want more of this and more of this. Connect this pull with this. Now you watch. I'll do it on you. You guys give each other a nice little firm too. Like give each other that little handle with your head. Don't be so loosey-goosey. If you kids have that. Come on. You guys got it down? You guys seem a little...
Just because we're kids?
Whoa, I'm asking. But guys, I'm very, very humble. I just kind of want to share a little bit of my story, man. Like I'm honored, man, to accomplish what I've accomplished here today. And I can only tell you, as an immigrant son, there's one word that I could really tell you guys that I've always had as a poor little Mexican kid, was I was always grateful. You know, I didn't come from the most financially stable family. So, you know, in my situation, like life was, I don't want to say it was tough because I didn't know any different, because that's just the way it was. But I grew up poor guys. You know, my parents came to this country, maybe not the most, you know, political way, but they came to this country to live the American dream. You know, where my mom was raised, she was raised in the war zone of Mexico City. You know, there's more kidnappings and killings than probably anywhere in the world, but she escaped that place to live the American dream. And it's something that you guys could live. My father was never around. My father was an alcoholic. My father died a year before the Olympics. You know, pretty much heart failure, overdoing drugs and X, Y, and Z. So the majority of my life, I was raised by my mother with my 6 siblings. So I'm one of 7 kids. So I was a kid, guys, that was raised that, you know, I went through hunger as a kid. You know, I went to 13 different schools growing up, 13 different elementary schools, having to leave, having to move every 2 to 3 months, lived in apartments, trailers, junkyards. I mean, we're a poor family. But one thing that we always did have is that gratefulness to be in America, to have that freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do, those inspirational stories. When I was 9 years old, my life completely changed. This was back in '96. None of you guys were born. But I'll never forget it because I was watching the Olympics, and at that time I lived in a trailer inside of a junkyard. And I'll never forget it because it was a black and white TV with wooden panels on the side. And the only way to change the channel was to make sure the pliers were hooked on the right way to change the channels. And the only way we get reception was making sure that hanger was hooked on, and somehow, I don't know what the hanger did, but we somehow were able to get connection. But that hot day on that summer day of '96, my life changed because I'll never forget it. Watching the Olympics, watching this African-American man by the name of Michael Johnson. The way he shattered that world record with his infamous gold shoes. You guys watch at the Olympics. I'll never forget it, man, because as a kid, I was just like, my mom used to always tell me, man, you guys be proud, be grateful that you guys are American. And I never really got it until I saw this man shatter the world records with his infamous gold shoes, seeing him on the Olympic podium, seeing him ball quiver up as I see the American flag going up. Hearing the national anthem, how precious that was. As a 9-year-old boy, I was like, man, I'm going to become an Olympic champion someday. And I didn't even know the sport of wrestling even existed. This was just a dream that I had. This was just a manifestation that I had in my mind and my brain. As a kid, I grew up kind of fighting in the streets, you know, but in some ways it was kind of organized crime if you really think about it, because a bunch of drunk Mexican guys would get together, just like you guys, like if you guys were a bunch of drunk Mexicans, and they would make these little kids, used to make these little kids fight. And they'd make these little kids fight, they'd make them fight for sort of entertainment. If you were competitive, if you were a winner, you know, if you'd win, you know, they would give you a Mexican ice cream. Una paleta de chile. If you did it, too bad, so sad, guys. But to me, I knew that it wasn't so much about that ice cream. I mean, yeah, of course, that was the incentive. But to me, it was more the side that I wanted to just compete. I didn't care how big you were. I just didn't care because I just wanted to compete. Like I love to unleash my frustration and whatever it is that I can unleash it on. Because I grew up in apartments my whole life. From fighting in like a neighborhood apartments to find the sport of wrestling, which my brother introduced me to. And I'll never forget it. My brother Angel says, Henry, this sport, is in the Olympics. So automatically when he said wrestling, I was thinking WWE. I was thinking, man, the clothesline, off the top ropes. I was like, really? I was a fifth grader. Once I went to the first meet for the first time, and my brother was in junior high. I was still in elementary school. I saw these two kids fighting. I was like, what is that? I saw the principal, for the winner come up, give him an award, shake his hand. I'm like, whoa. I was so comfortable being snatched by the principal. I wasn't a bully, guys, but I was a Dennis the Menace. You understand? Like, I didn't pick on kids. I was just a kid. I just liked to kind of just see how far I could push the envelope, But I was able to see that, and I was before I even laced a pair of wrestling shoes, like that became my love just by watching. So by the time I laced up my first wrestling shoes, like I was naturally good. Like that competitive spirit, growing up in humble beginnings, fighting in the streets to eventually winning state titles, national titles. From the age 11 from the age 12, 11 to the age 17, I had won every national tournament that the United States had to offer. Any national tournament, every national tournament, from Fargo to cadet nationals, making world teams, to the point where I get a call from the United States Olympic Training Center that says, Henry, we want you to become a resident athlete at the Olympic Training Center. This is the first time, by the way, guys, that USA Wrestling has ever done that. It was actually with me. I was a junior in high school, and they gave me the opportunity to live at the Olympic Training Center to chase my dreams. Because Henry wants you to come out here, and hopefully within 8 years, by 2012, we could make you an Olympic champion. I says, guys, thank you. I want all the resources. That's all I needed. I just need the support from you guys. And I don't need 8 years. Give me 4 years, and I will become an Olympic champion. Guys, I left my family. I left my friends. I left everything behind to chase my dream, where you're more likely to get struck by lightning than to become an Olympic champion. Where you're more likely to win the lottery than to become an Olympic champion. Where you're more likely to become a president of a certain country than to become an Olympic champion. I'll never forget it, because I remember jumping on that Greyhound, $2 in my back pocket. I didn't have any money. 2 duffel bags full of clothes. More importantly, guys, I left Phoenix, Arizona to Colorado Springs with a dream. So I want you guys to get this. On August 19th of 2004, I left home. And on August 19th of 2008, that kid with that dream became the youngest Olympic champion in the history of the United States of America. This is where you guys should probably clap. And I'll never forget it, guys, because I remember like so much wind came at me, so much like media. Because at that time, like I had an opportunity to write a book. It's titled American Victory. It talks about like my whole story. I was a 21-year-old kid. I already had a book deal. And not with like these self-publishing book people. This is like one of the world's largest publishing company in Penguin. My book was in 14 different languages. Like we want to know like the mindset and the story of this kid that probably shouldn't have made it, right? That probably should have been like his dad, a deadbeat, an alcoholic, a criminal, right? So, but I remember laying in my bed that day. I'm just like, man, my life just changed. I never did it for the fame. I just did it to be the best in the world. I just did it to feel what Michael Johnson was feeling. Remember that track and field guy that I was talking about? I just wanted to feel that feeling. And I tell you what, guys, that feeling is so amazing. So amazing. There's nothing like you being an Olympic champion, man, and waking up, man. For like the first 2 weeks when I won the Olympics, I would just wake up at random hours because my reality was better than my dream. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to fall asleep because I was like, man, I'm living my dream. You understand that? The sacrifice. But I'll never forget it because I was laying in my bed and I'm just like, man, I have a lot of speeches. I have a lot of public speaking to do. How is it that I did it? How is it that I became the best in the world at such a young age, foregoing college, 9 years into my wrestling career to become an Olympic champion, right? And I call it 3 things. I call it dream, sacrifice, victory. Everything, guys, starts off with a dream. What is your dream? Your dream is your imagination. Your dream is your imagination. Like, think about it. Whatever it is that you have up here, you can manifest it. That's your dream, right? Second is what I call sacrifice. Guys, I sacrificed my family, I sacrificed my friends, I sacrificed my freedom to get where I'm at today. I didn't have any friends in high school. As a matter of fact, I would eat lunch with the teachers, because I couldn't relate to anybody. I left a whole new, just different culture, and it had nothing to do with them. It was just more of me, right? I didn't have any friends. I never went to prom. I never went to parties. I never drank. I never smoked. Understand the real meaning of what sacrifice is. So the bigger the dream, the greater the sacrifice. You guys understand that? Here's a dream. Here's a sacrifice. Here's a dream. Here's a sacrifice. Can you guys see the dream? Come on, guys, talk to me. Can you guys see the dream? Why? Because it's being overwhelmed with sacrifice. You understand that? So whatever it is that you guys desire, whatever it is that you guys want, you guys always have to make sure to have that dream. But you want to overwhelm that dream with sacrifice, with commitment, with investment. You guys understand that? So the bigger the dream, the greater the sacrifice. The bigger the dream, the greater the sacrifice. The sacrifice always has to be greater than the dream in order for you to accomplish victory. You guys understand that? Is that hitting you guys a little bit? Dream, sacrifice, victory. The bigger the dream, the greater the sacrifice. So if you dream big, sacrifice all, you will enjoy victory. If you dream big, sacrifice all, you will enjoy victory. Thank you. So thank you guys again for watching. It means a lot to me. So you guys remember, there's more breakdowns, there's more technique, there's more tactics, and there's definitely more cringe. So make sure to subscribe and click on that button. I'm out!